Do you like Lunchables or Lunchly?
Huh?
Do you like Lunchables or Lunchly?
I like my cheese drippy, bruh.
I'm at a loss for words after just watching the newest episode of Dandadan, and I can't believe I was so uneducated on how talented Science Saru really is, because they turned the majority of this episode basically into a perfect silent film, and the only words I could possibly use to describe it as was art. I'm stunned by the amount of effort they put into this backstory. Mind you, this backstory is also important for a lot of Dandadan fans too, as it was a major point in the series where a lot of fans started truly connecting with the manga when reading. It's in my top 3 favorites in the series, so I was more than excited to watch this episode. But my expectations were completely shattered. There were so many creative decisions that were nailed beautifully. Lots of great camera angles that gives us a deeper perspective of the mother, and for non-manga readers finding out that Ira and her cursed spirit were actually mother and daughter could make a grown man cry. But seriously, the creative decisions throughout the entire episode was on point. Even from the start of the episode with a lady screaming in the rain looking around, and then transitioning to the cursed spirit aka Silky wasn't in the manga. During the beginning fight, they added a lot more facial expressions that weren't in the manga either, and without a doubt, they're still giving us a great panel for panel adaptation. But I want to talk about everything leading up to and during the backstory that was just so beautiful. So, as we discovered this episode, Ira is currently dead, and they're attempting to give her CPR to bring her back to life, but Turbo Granny says it's futile. Silky managed to tank Okarun's attack, but is now working with them to bring Ira back to life, which could confuse the audience when watching. Why would this cursed spirit have such a strong connection to Ira, to the point where she literally destroyed her own mouth and tells Momo to finish her off with a steel beam if she's lying? So surely they trust her and link auras together, which connect us to the backstory. Just to clarify, yes, the lady is Silky and the child is Ira. So once upon a time when Silky was human, she used to literally bend over backwards to put food on the table for her loving daughter. And I mean literally bend over. She was selling her products to others for money. And she found it so exhausting at times, but also persevered for her bundle of joy waiting for her at home. This animation and story was breathtaking from here on out, showing us how the mom would balance her job and life with her younger daughter was seriously inspirational. You know, sometimes in our day-to-day life, we feel a lack of motivation to even get out of bed, but Silky is working overtime and more just for her daughter. The best part is, a lot of these scenes aren't in the manga. Science Saru was the chef behind this cooking because the backstory is roughly 10 pages with close to no text before Silky passes. So to enjoy such a dynamic viewing experience with music changing from upbeat to cheerful to hopeful to depressing to sad to pitch quiet was genius. Continuing with the backstory, sadly the mother took out an extra loan which caused her money trouble with the debt collectors and ended up getting her daughter taken away. She passes out and wakes up in a blur chasing after her, but she lost too much blood to continue. This is where a lot of fans might have gotten confused, but in this scene, she's actually dancing on top of a roof, giving herself one last dance as she has lost everything that's dear to her, which was animated beautifully and flowed nicely as well. Science Saru tries to keep it kid friendly the best that they can while also staying true to the material, because in the manga it's kind of clear as day what she's about to do on the rooftop of a building, but they kind of distract you with the mesmerizing city lights and night sky. But then we see the background moving quickly and the pitch black screen with a loud thud/crunch noise in the background. As you can see in the manga version though, it's really only 2 pages of her dancing, and then it transitions to her gracefully falling off the building as she says farewell to her daughter. Silky has now turned into a cursed spirit because she passed away with regret in her life, thinking that she never gave her daughter a fulfilling life. So she swears to herself that she'll protect her from harm and always look after her until the day she dies, which they even foreshadowed in the previous episode. If you remember, Ira was tweaking out when she got the ability to see spirits and noticed one on the soccer field during school, but her friends kept telling her no one was there. That spirit was Silky the whole time, staying true to her word. Which now brings us back to present time, and Ira wakes up and she learns the harsh truth of what happened to her mother. Even Momo couldn't help but cry from such a touching story. But now that Silky has traded her life for Ira, she's slowly withering away, saying her last words that she swore she would protect her, but now she can't. The pure shock on Aira's face was captured perfectly as she was trying to take in the reality of everything that's been going on. Also another dub from Science Saru because they make her facial expression a lot more grim with this camera angle too. But as Silky is slowly fading away, regretting that she couldn't do more for her, Aira sprints to Silky and gives her a hug. I'll be honest, from this moment on, even I was holding back tears. This shit was just too perfect. As Aira tells Silky she loves her and that everything she's done in the past made her the happiest person not in the world but in the universe. As her mother withers away in her hands, she says, "I won't forget you, I swear." If this shit isn't peak, I don't know what is. Maybe I was too late to watch Michael Jordan play, but I'm just in time to watch Dandadan weekly and enjoy the anime community love it as much as I do. Seriously, there is no better feeling than reading a manga, loving it, watching it get announced for an adaptation, have the studio put 110% into every episode, and having the community love it just as much as I do. I promise you, I am so grateful that it's Science Saru adapting this and not some other studio that will not be named. I can't stop thinking about what I just watched. This was just another level of cinema. Thank you to everyone who worked on this episode of Dandadan because you have created a work of art. It's so difficult to really capture and translate someone else's work from your own perspective, but these guys seriously took it to the next level and went above and beyond. Watching these composition of scenes go down deserve a shout out to the author as well. I don't know how these authors come up with such a twisted yet creative backstory to always capture us and make us feel torn, but we're slowly but surely being introduced to the gang. We've now been introduced to Turbo Granny, the actual Granny, Momo, Okarun, and now Aira. There are a couple more characters who are yet to come, but I know for sure one will be this season and one will be next season, so we'll see how Science Saru goes about this one. I will say don't expect any more crazy backstories like this until next season, but be sure to stick around for a lot more romance and supernatural events. And maybe some questionable scenes too, depending on what you call questionable, but definitely not comparable to the first episode. As Okarun is still looking for his other ball, the supernatural events won't stop here. And honestly, it's crazy to think we only have 5 episodes left. I swear it feels like I just made a video on the first episode last week, but surely enough, it's been way over a month. And Dandadan's popularity is continuing to skyrocket like I claimed. Maybe it really will be the face of shonen. Anyway, if you guys made it to the end of the video, be sure to leave a like if you want to see more content like this, and subscribe to keep up with future content. Comment down below your thoughts so far from this adaptation. I will cover more Dandadan and weekly episodes airing this season, so stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.